Greeting viewers, this is Misbah Azam with New Wave Global. Today we have a very distinguished guest with me. She is kind of activist on the social media. From there I met her first time and I requested her to kindly join my show, and she's very nice that she decided to give her time to us. It is a morning time in Pakistan, but she is with us for next 15-20 minutes. Now, who is she? She has a website called as Pak Bangla Connects, and we will ask her what it is, and to make sure that she would be introduced properly, I would request her to kindly give her some background in first minute. So Sadia, thank you very much. And please introduce yourself. Tell us whom our listeners or watchers, viewers are watching today.
Well, I'm Sadia Sattar, and you've spoken about the YouTube channel that I started just recently this year, and that's Pak Bangla Connect. Yes, Sadia Sattar. Basically, I believe that a person who's doing things when she feels they're right and all, and now with social media, voicing the concerns that I feel, and um, that's how I'm doing basically. And if we go to the background, I joined media fraternity very early in my life, maybe just when I was 12, 13, and we did a couple of radio shows back then, and some TV too. At that time, there was only PTV, right? And after that, I happened to have about 11 years in Japan. I was teaching English as a second language, and before that, the declamations, debates, speeches, etc., that was something that I always enjoyed, and I kept on doing those. So communication was a constant. And I came back to Pakistan in 2011, and I just wanted to do something for my country, because living in Japan in very early years of your life, and seeing how Japanese are, and I loved the way they were, and the culture and the development and everything. So I just wanted to inculcate a few things, or as we say, give back to my country in a way that we can, actually go and tell people what are the do's and don'ts, what can we do to progress further, what are the things we need not to copy or not to learn from Japanese. We have better things here also. So then I wanted to be with in some schools or something dealing with children, but I realized that that did not give me a way to communicate with the kids in far-flung areas, or the whole, if I say whole Pakistan, I couldn't. So the only medium I thought was good at that point, because even now radio is heard and listened to. um, so I joined Radio Pakistan, and then the journey started from there. In the meantime, I got trained for social media with DW News in 2012, and there were a few things which were foreseeable back then. Now we see India coming out in open and things like that. I had interest in geopolitics, so at that point it was foreseeable, but for many people, maybe X was not a big platform. For me, it was, because I started using it very early. And then after that, years passed and things continued. I happened to excel in media fraternity in the context, because I just worked with China Media Group for about 7 years. I worked with PTV World briefly. I worked with Radio Pakistan for a very long time. I'm still connected with Radio Pakistan, and worked as a, how to say, a freelancer with multiple things. Happened to attend a couple of workshops and seminars outside. But one thing which was constant was my activism on social media, and that was related to with Pakistan, of course, and then Bangladesh, because as I said, geopolitics is my interest and concern. So we grew up listening to, oh, this happened. So I really wanted to get to know more about the issue on my own rather than going by who says what, whose perception is what, because there's this very common thing that history is written by multiple people and they all give their own version. So I wanted to see it myself, how things are. So I happened to communicate with many Bangladeshis at that point, and they were not very happy with what was happening in Bangladesh with Sheikh Hasina and all.
Mm.
And after that, what happened in 2024 was a huge thing for the whole world. Nobody was expecting this big revolution from Bangladesh and things turning, this way, which they did. And then a few friends of mine who were in Bangladesh, they suggested that um, we may go for a collaborative channel where we can talk about Pakistan and Bangladesh. At times, we talk about some uncomfortable truths just for the sake of that. What do we need to do to counter the hegemony that we see in this region now developing more than ever after Hindutva fascism is there, and we see
Mm.
Narendra Modi with a huge, big thing, Akhand Bharat, constant 24/7. So these were the things that compelled me to do so. And then I had an overwhelming response from Bangladeshis in particular. Within about 2 to 3 months, I've had about 50,000 people who've subscribed to the channel.
Mhm.
Then that was a big blow. I myself was very cautious that, okay, fine, now what? Because naturally, there are many people who do these YouTube sessions and they do great work, by the way. But for me, I really want to try. I cannot be very perfect, but I really want to try to do things um, that bring in geopolitics, that bring peace, that bring like conversations which may be uncomfortable but not sensational, because we've seen that a lot of sensation is being used just to gather audience. So I wanted to try something different.
Mm.
That is why it took me some time to decide who, how, when, where should be there on the platform. So
So,
just recently.
just I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just one question that I'm still curious that how you decided to, like connect with Bangladesh. I mean, I'm nothing against it, but I'm just curious, and I'm sure my viewers will also ask this question: that do you have any kind of connection, family connection with Bangladesh, or you just like you have a friends or connections there, which
No, I think that my answer is going to surprise many people, because for me, the connection is that what we lost, you know,
Yeah,
and that's very close to my heart, because
unfortunately.
yeah, because I have had, like I said, I've been doing activism on my own. So one thing which we keep on listening from our arch rival was about this constantly.
Mm.
And I happened to interview, like I said, I wanted to, go into this depth, and I wanted to speak to people who probably nobody ever spoke with in this
Mm.
context. So I happened to interview a couple of POWs back then. They were very kind to give me time. The elderly people here in Pakistan. I happened to speak to a few people in Bangladesh too.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
realized that the love is there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of love. So it is not that I have a family contact. In fact, I've never been to Bangladesh.
Oh,
If I tell you
that.
honestly, yes, I've never been to Bangladesh. I just have a few friends there, but then the family is growing with every passing day, and the responsibility is growing, because when you see the comments there, and for me also it's a very unique thing. But no, uh, for your question, the straight answer is no. I don't have a personal contact or anything personal here. It's this whole story is personal to me, like it should be to every
mm,
Pakistani and every Bangladeshi, because I believe that. And yesterday we happened to have a podcast with one of very famous Bangladeshi influencers,
mm,
and I hope that we'll be having soon out, uploaded this podcast on our channel. So he said it clearly and categorically that, and I also second him that since the inception of Pakistan, India did not accept it.
mm,
Things started deteriorating, more deteriorating, after 65, and so it started happening. We were not even born then, to be honest.
mm,
And for whole our lives, since we've joined social media, we've been listening to this story over and over again. And so I just wanted to have a deep dive. And when
mm,
I started diving in, I realized that there is a lot to be done, because there's a lot of sentiment, a lot of human emotion, there's a lot of concern, and despite whatever happened, a lot of love.
mm,
If I tell you that a recent um, uh, poll on one of the Bangladeshi channels, actually, it happened to be that about 79% of Bangladeshis, if I'm
mm,
not wrong about the statistics exactly, they were favoring Pakistan when Pakistan-India war was happening, and they were against India, and they're against Mujib, they're against Sheikh Hasina. They say Mujib is not a hero.
mm,
He's Mir Jafar. That's exactly what the guy said yesterday in our podcast, which will be
mm,
out soon. So basically, that sentiment threw more responsibility on my shoulders. I even
mm.
tried to change the name briefly, because many people were
Uh,
saying that, okay, fine, it's a bipartisan thing, and maybe we need to talk more about the global issues and all. So I
mm,
asked my subscribers, and they were all like, no, we
mhm,
want this friendship and brotherhood strengthened
mhm,
further, and this is a very unique platform, so do not change the name. So there,
mm,
I decided that it's going to go like that. So basically, no, there is no
mm.
personal thing, but
Uh-huh.
it is personal to me.
No, no, it's very nice, and I admire it that at least somebody is talking about these issues. And so I was just thinking that you might have some sort of connection from Bangladesh, but it is even better that without having any connection, you want to restore, I must say, that connection which we used to have it some years ago. And I'm hoping that coming days, years, things will get little better in that sense. So let me ask you that. Okay, so let's start from Bangladesh, and then we go a little bit up, and then we will conclude our show. So, what do you think that is it possible that Pakistan and because see, my big I should not say concern, if you will, but I would say more like a thought process is that. Uh, Bangladesh has Hasina Wajid, Miss Hasina Wajid, and situation was really bad between Bangladesh and Pakistan. However, then she left, and then there is some sort of interim government came. Now Bangladesh going back to the elections, and if suppose Awami League wins again, so, do you think that thing will return? Because, see, this all, like, what do you say, good things happening between these two countries is due to the fact that there is a, there is some interim government, there is military government, kind of military. So, how you see that, the future?
See, it's very interesting, and exactly the same thing. There, it's in conversation, and basically, if we talk about the first thing that I've mentioned earlier, it's about the sentiment of the people. The sentiment. Hasina did not leave; she was forced to leave, and she was forced to leave by the young generation there in Bangladesh, because the sentiment was all time high, so much so that they literally demolished Dhanmondi 32, the residence of Sheikh Mujib, and everything related to him. And like I said, just yesterday, I've spoken to one of the biggest influencers there, and he said the legacy of Mujib and Hasina has a full stop. I'm quoting Mr. Pinaki Bhattacharya.
Hmm.
He's spoken to us yesterday. We'll be sharing the complete vlog in a day or two, probably. And that's what he says, that that is a full stop because the people are fully aware. And if anybody is having this understanding that Awami League is coming back, that's not me saying,
Hmm.
that's what they are saying, most of them, and the majority of them, that there is a full stop, right?
Hmm.
And of course, as a neighbor, as a brother, as a lost brother, there's a very unique history between Bangladesh and Pakistan. We wish them all the best.
Hmm.
Whatever is best for them is what we would love, to see them prospering and all.
Yeah.
That's what Pakistan always, kept the policy that way, right?
Yeah.
But talking about Indian hegemony and people being concerned there, and they're constantly wanting that they should have people to people contact with Pakistan, they should have military and defense collaboration, they should have connection with multiple countries including China. They want to throw the Indian hegemony. So I don't really see, in my opinion, that this thing is turning back any soon.
Hmm.
If not at all, maybe, you never know, but not soon. And that's
Not.
what I'm basing my opinion on. The conversations that I've had with Bangladeshis, most
Hmm.
of them are of the opinion that it's a full stop, and full
Hmm.
stop, by full stop they mean that it's never coming back. But
Hmm.
they never say never, so we can keep 1% of that thought, that maybe, but this maybe is not happening now.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the interim government, of course, we can say whatever. There are 1,000 people with 1,000 speculations, and now we are living in social media time, so there are many people coming on their YouTube channels with their opinions. But I think, fingers crossed. But since the sentiment of the people is not in favor of
Hmm.
India, that is why any groups or cadres that are influenced by Indian influence or BJP or Hindutva influence are going to be given a
Hmm.
shut up call by Bangladeshis themselves. It's not
Hmm.
about what Pakistan says or what China says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last question about Bangladesh, then we can move to other topic. So recently, the interim prime minister of Bangladesh asked Pakistan to apologize for the excesses they committed during 1971. What do you think? Where that type of demands will take this relationship? How do you see that?
Yeah, there's this thing. One thing is that Pakistan did apologize. That's on record. So it's not something we have to understand. When we say that there is a constant intrusion by India, it was not just the intrusion that Sheikh Hasina was present. That intrusion is in every cadre, every fraternity, bureaucracy, and so and so. And again, this is not me saying, this is my research that I have done or I have spoken to people. And in coming days, we'll be having extremely amazing, podcasts on our channel where you can get to know more about it, how deeply, how deep Indian intrusion was and still is. So we have to understand, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. Many things coming from there probably are due to that same reason, that still there is that influence. And of course, India wanted its hegemony, so India is definitely going to try to get it back, because
Mm,
they have not taken Bangladesh as a friend, they have taken Bangladesh as somebody they can rule on, you know
client,
and that
yes.
exactly. So the point is that when the rule is weakening, of course they are going to try. So
Mm,
that probably, or many other such things, they may come as trying to create or reignite the hate that they thought is buried now. Because
mm,
if you see, I give you general examples. If you have to judge something, I don't think that we have to go by the politicians. We have to go by the sentiments of the people, because they are the ones who did the revolution. To be honest,
mm,
no one man can do it, it's the collective effort. So when we see them even watching a cricket match, they are cheering for Pakistan.
Yeah.
Even if there was Pakistan-India war, they were talking about Pakistan. They were rather banned channels from Bangladesh and X handles, because they were talking about what Pakistan did, which did not go well with India, because
Mm,
they are used to of having yes sir kind of attitude that happened in Sheikh Hasina's time.
mm,
So I think we have to take it with a pinch of salt, and that is gone because it happened. And then, if I'm not wrong, our leaders went to Bangladesh after
mm,
this complete episode. They did apologize.
mhm,
Then it happened that we had, after that things happened, but still because of the Indian influence. And
mhm,
then we have to understand the Indian influence was not only cadres and fraternities; it went to schools,
mm.
even in the syllabus, even in the things. And if I
That's
tell
true.
you something, and if I tell you something very interesting, even before this, the complete episode, there was a poster which was made by Awami League back then, and that was a deliberate thing that they were trying to eye on how to do things. So it's a very complex story if
Mm,
we go back in the history. And right now, if you talk about it, I think Pakistan had played a role of an elder brother in the context that, and moreover, we need to
mhm.
move. Bygones are bygones. The,
That's
the
true.
the truth of today is the truth of today is that there is a fascist government in India, and they are trying desperately for a Khand Bharat. We have
Mm,
seen how they've made their media rooms as war bunkers in Pakistan India war, how they were literally spewing hate that, okay, fine, we are going to flatten Pakistan, make it Gaza, etc., etc. And then the statements coming from their top
mm,
leaders and top cadres.
mm,
So, and this is not only against Pakistan, it's also against Bangladesh. People
mhm.
started saying, we are going to gift you two more sisters. There are seven sister states. Let's give two more sister states. So we have to understand. And then
Mm.
Maldives went through Indian hegemony when they
Yeah.
ran India out campaign, and
Yeah.
then Nepal and so and so.
Yeah.
So this whole region needs to breathe,
Mm. Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and we need to understand what threats we are facing.
No, I understand. Yes, that's true, and that's a very good answer. So we have a very short time left. So I would quickly like to ask you, and this is the last question, and if you kindly answer me that how you see overall, I saw your interviewing to Michael Kugelman, and you asked some those questions regarding wars and all, and a lot of discussion is going on. So let's not worry about that. But coming days and years, how you see Pakistan's closeness with different countries. Bangladesh is one, of course, Sri Lanka, then Maldives, you just mentioned, then Nepal, and then Iran and Azerbaijan, and and the West. What do you see where Pakistan is heading, especially after being some nice things happening between Pakistan and United States? But where Pakistan will go? Pakistan will go back to its older Western allies, or Pakistan will try to form their alliances in the region with Russia, China, and Middle East and these countries. Can you say something on that, please?
Yeah, well, I think Pakistan had been playing its international cards really well, and that's exactly what Pakistan needs to do, because we know that the blocks are shifting. We know that it's no more a unipolar world. We know that things are happening in multiple regions. We know that there is this Middle Eastern thing going on. We know that how things just happened in South Asia. We know that there was a cold collision going on between the superpowers, if we talk about China and the US and the whole tariff thing and all. So, see, Pakistan is strategically important. Pakistan is actually trying to and must be balancing, because that's what diplomacy is. If we talk about the global powers, I say it often that nobody is leaving to Mars as now, as of now. Nobody is going to Mars. We are here, and we have to manage with our neighboring countries, and we have to manage in a proper way. And whoever is going to manage it diplomatically properly, I think that's the winner in present
Any
times.
hope with
And
India? Will Pakistan good relations with India?
well, to
And
be honest, see, I probably would be the most optimistic person if I could see anything. Because the whole reason is it is not just Hindutva regime that we keep on talking about. It's the poison that they have gifted to their new generation, to Gen Z and to alphas and all. And you can see the hatred visibly on social media. You know, the slangs, the low tropes, the terms they're using, that shows that they've grown a complete generation that is only based on one, Islam hate, and then two, Pakistan hate, which is very unfortunate. So, having said that, and then they have some supremacy complex now going on, which is increasing. I really hope that things are not same on the ground as we see on social media, but visibly they are trying to groom a generation like that. On the contrary, I wouldn't say it's absolutely absent in other countries. Of course, other countries have nationalism, they have Gen Z too and all,
hmm,
but there is no state coordinated program to actually brainwash the youth. No,
hmm,
none. On the
that's
contrary, in
true.
India, it is the case because,
Hmm,
if you see the soft power, if you see their influence ops, if
hmm,
you see how Bollywood is being used as a tool, so even the Mughal rulers, that's debatable what they did, how they did, good or bad, etc. But showing only one side of the story deliberately to create, an image, a portrayal of that everybody was a demon and we are not. So
hmm,
this supremacist thing, I think, even though if Pakistan tries, and I can give you examples, whenever there was a problem in SARC, it happened because India didn't want to join. I
hmm,
remember there was a very famous event when late Sushma Swaraj mentioned that, she cancelled at the last moment. Then we talk about multiple things, threatening to finish Indus Water Treaty. That's just the recent one, without any proof of Pahalgam, a strike on Pakistan. There has to be a proper investigation before, which never happened. And then we just came back from the brink of an escalated war, which could have taken not only this region but the world in a strange chaos, probably, because that's very much possible. We are talking about two nuclear powers. So, this irresponsible attitude, moreover, if our
hmm,
players go there, they have a problem. If the actors come here, they have a problem. If somebody, so this is the mindset. How can you fight with it? Just recently, this Asia Cup thing going on, and Pakistanis did not make a fuss about it. We understand that a war happened, things must go on, and so and so. But for that, there is a complete campaign going. So apparently, I don't really see much hope, but I do see hope if they let the
hmm,
people from JNU speak and they don't take them off the mic and TV just
hmm,
as soon as they start spilling truth. And there are people who are saying, I wouldn't say that complete India is gone to Modi's Hindutva extremism, but the problem is that these people are suppressed and you do not see them talking much. So I
hmm,
can give you a very famous example. There was a group captain called Mickey Malik back in about maybe 2020 or 2021. The guy just made a single comment on the government, and this fascist government, that is one case that came
hmm,
into
hmm,
notice. Others are probably just thrown under the carpet. So the guy was he had to lose his job. He was doxxed on the internet, he was harassed and everything. And you don't see group captain Mickey Malik from India anymore on X
hmm,
because this is the level of suppression they face.
yeah,
So had it been the case that people were allowed to speak their minds, and I
yeah,
really, really think that people from India, because why I say India, why I don't say Pakistan? See, it's a bigger country
hmm,
with a huge population. The onus remains there. The
hmm,
voice has to, the sane voice has to come from there. Okay, fine, we want peace in this region and enough of this extremism. Let's call it out
hmm,
and let's make it work. Because what could be better than that? See,
yeah,
Japan and China had animosity, but they're
Yeah.
still doing trade, they're still having the scholarships going on and all. So there are multiple examples, but because of this, my opinion, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but my opinion is that Hindutva fascism is the main hindrance, and we do not see it happening anytime soon,
Mhm.
particularly when we see that Narendra Modi, most probably, as their people say, can be replaced by Yogi Adityanath in coming days,
Mhm.
and he is rather more crude to the idea
Mhm.
of inclusivity. So I don't really see any hope as of
Yeah.
now
No,
until there is a miracle.
actually, yeah, actually, that was all time we have, and inshallah, we will be talking to you in coming days more and more. India's famous scholar once was with Mr. Ejaz Haider's show in Focus. He said that his name is Siddharth Vardarajan. He said that the damage Mr. Modi gave to this to Indian society. I mean, I'm not quoting him exactly, but something like that. He said that what damages he created, it will take maybe a generation to go away. I mean, it is not going to go very quickly. Any government will come, they will pick the thread from the same place. So, once again, thank you very much, Sadia, for giving us your time. And it's a weekend, and I took your time. And once again, I apologize from yesterday. We were recording this show yesterday, but I have a power outage until very late night, so we could not do it. So, we will be talking to you again. And with that note, Misbah Azam and Sadia are finishing this show. And please keep watching Nayador and New Wave Global.